Hello and welcome back to MCW Midlands Mayhem, and we are back for yet another show after a couple of fantastic shows in the last episode. But just before we get into that, please do leave a like down below, comment what you think of the shows that we've been doing so far, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I have got Football Manager content out on the channel as well if that interests you, so please do check that out if it tickles your fancy. And just before we go and book the show, we've got some backstage incidents to deal with. So let's have a look. We've got an incident involving Pete Dunne. That's fine. He created a relaxed atmosphere, set up a barbecue and cooked for everybody. That's nice of him. And then we've got a incident involving Saraya Knight and Alex Windsor, who we've assigned an official contract now. And it's just Saraya's been passing on some tips about psychology to Alex. So pretty good relationship going on there. And we're more than happy for that to continue. And as usual, we are going to be going out of the Featherstone and Hilton. We're expecting 148 fans. So that would be fantastic if we can bring that in. And we're getting ever close to that 150 barrier. I'll go and book the show. And so we opened the show in front of 146 people. Slightly lower than we were expecting, unfortunately. But in a decent match, Becky James defeats Jetta in 8 minutes 48 by submission in a 38 rated match. So pretty decent from these two here. Jetta making her debut and getting a rating of adequate for her gimmick, which isn't great, but we'll live with that. I think I need to start having a look at their gimmicks before, because I think that's about the fourth person who's debuted with a bitch gimmick, so we definitely need to sort that out. But after the match, Ricky comes out and confirms Becky has earned her title shot against Brittany, and it will take place next month at MCW Midlands Mayhem. Following that, we have a replay of the attack on Lionheart by Dave Mastiff from 2 weeks ago. Gets this segment rating of 24, which isn't bad for just a little video recap. Back into the ring, and in a battle that had a decent reaction from the crowd. However, subpar wrestling, Zach Knight defeats Clint Majera by pinfall with a Rainmaker after interference by Martin Kirby, which means Zach Knight makes defense number 2 of the UEWA European Heavyweight title. Segment getting a rating of 27, so that's pretty good for two guys who aren't particularly amazing wrestlers. I'm hoping Zach Knight will become one of our big stars in the future, but we've got quite a bit of work to do to build him up to that point at this stage. After the match, Roy once again comes out to try and confront Zach. However, once again, Zach turns his back and leaves without even acknowledging Roy. At some point, this has got to come to a head. At some point, Roy's going to have to do something so that Zach has to acknowledge him. And no, it's not a Roman Reigns storyline, now that I've said that. That was a coincidence. After that, Saraya Knight is training Alex Windsor, her protege, and she just, while they're having their little wrestle, again, I've made a mistake here. Alex Windsor's debuted an old school heel gimmick while being a face. Saraya just says there's something weird about that Holly Blossom. The way that she goes under the ring and then next thing she comes out as though she's not been in the match. She's like, there's something odd going on. And Saraya's going to try and find out, because in one of our shows coming up soon, she's going to have a match with Holly Blossom. After that, Marty's Girl comes out, demands a match against anyone who has beaten him previously, and out comes Dave Mastiff, and you can see on Marty's Girl's face the worry at what he's just done. And in our main event, in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Dave Mastiff defeats Marty's Girl in 13:28 by pinfall with a discus lariat, and that gets a rating of 44. So a pretty good main event there. And after the match, Lionheart comes out to confront Mastiff and just says, if you wanted a title shot, all you had to do was ask. And that is confirmation that at MCW Live, we will have Dave Mastiff challenging Lionheart for the championship. And the show gets a 38 rating. It increases our popularity once again. And we can go through and tell. So we'll tell Becky James that she had a good performance. We'll tell not Marty's Girl, Zach Knight, give him some encouragement. And Dave Mastiff can be pointed out as a good example, and they're all pleased with that. and let's head over to MCW Live. Now, I believe we have already gained popularity in North, South England as well as Scotland, so for this show we are once again from the Featherstone and Hilton in front of 164 people this time round, and we open the show with a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Chris Brooks defeats Zach Gibson with a Yakuza kick in a match that gets a 33 rating, so although it says subpar wrestling, not a bad start for us. And Chris Brooks is a bit of an underrated guy, I think, in MCW. He's quite popular with the fans, so hopefully he can continue that upward trend. Following that, Marty storms out, barges past Zach and Chris as they're making their way away from the ring, and demands one more match to try and get a win. And it's Pete Dunne that comes out, and in a match that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but once again subpar wrestling, which isn't ideal. Marty's Girl defeats Pete Dunne by pinfall with a graduation after Trent Seven got involved. The match getting a rating of 30. However, of course, after the match, Marty is celebrating wildly, completely ignoring that Trent helped him get the win, and Trent is behind him just absolutely pounding in on Pete Dunne, beating the crap out of him. Just brutal attack. That gets a rating of 24. After that, we have Dave Mastiff in the backstage segment just guaranteeing he will win the MCW title tonight. Every other win that Lionheart's had over him has been a complete fluke. Following that, in a bout that had subpar wrestling in Little Heat, Alex Windsor defeats Erin Angel in 720 with a Libertine driver, getting a rating of 30. And a decent match for Alex as she makes her first appearance in ring since signing permanently, and does a good job there. After the match, we have Saraya celebrating with Alex when Holly Blossom comes out, and she says, "Saraya, if you're so suspicious of me, why don't you step in the ring with me again and see what happens?" And that only gets a rating of 18. However, does set up a big match for us in one of our next two shows. Following that, we have Ricky just saying, very soon, a new star is going to be joining MCW. I'm not going to reveal who that is just yet. However, it's someone you will know. And he is making his way to MCW. It may not be for a little bit of time yet. However, he is on the way. And then in the main event, in a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Lionheart defeats Dave Mastiff again with a Heartstopper, defense number 2 of the MCW Championship, and segment rating of 53. So Lionheart, surely this time, putting an end to this feud with Dave Mastiff. Surely he's got to accept that he can't beat Lionheart at the moment. And the show gets an overall rating of 41, and it's another great show for us. So let's go through. Marty Skull can be pointed out as a good example. Lionheart can be complimented for a great performance, and will Alex Windsor, given that she's just made a debut, will give her a hug to say congratulations, and they're all happy with that. So a good show for us there, 164 fans and a very positive reaction. Ricky Knight has officially retired after, we'd announced it a while ago on our shows, and we knew it was coming, but well done to him. And he obviously moves into, I'm playing as Ricky, so he just moves into owner and booker of MCW. And we get 3 messages about this. Ricky Knight retired, your retirement, Ricky Knight retires. Not sure why we needed that 3 times, but okay. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Comment what you think we should do in the next show. Have you got anyone in mind that you think we may have signed? Let me know who you think it may be. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and thank you very much for watching.